operations of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe in Victoria Falls 2 months ago. And I'm sure all the delegates here are keen to hear the broad African perspective, as well as the valuable contributions from other speakers here. Namely, we have Professor Tony Hawkins and Dr. Charles Mugaviri also with us. I want also to commend the Human Talent Development Africa team for organizing this summit after hosting the first one in February this year on work ethics, corporate governance, where my colleague, former Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Honorable Patrick Shinamasa, gave a keynote address. Before I proceed, I just want to say His Excellency, our President, has espoused a vision, which I have already alluded to, that Zimbabwe should be a middle-income country by the year 2030. At his second inauguration speech on 26 August 2018, he specifically stated, and I quote, "Now is the time for all of us to unite as a nation and grow our economy. Let us courageously and diligently embark on a shared journey towards the realization of our national vision to transform Zimbabwe into a middle-income economy with increased investment, decent jobs, broad-based empowerment, free from poverty. My government will, in the next 5 years, accelerate industrialization, modernization, mechanization, with greater emphasis on market-driven policies. Furthermore, comprehensive strategies will be put in place to stimulate the value chains across our industries and commerce," close quote. This is a compelling vision, ladies and gentlemen, that should harness all the creative, innovative, entrepreneurial, engineering, financial, legal, and administrative energies and skills in the country, which is why we are all gathered here. I believe we are from diverse backgrounds, and the President's speech should be an inspiration to all of us to play our part in ensuring that we realize that vision. I know that there are, however, some skeptics who see this vision as far-fetched because it calls for the GDP of the country to grow by an average of 6% for the next 11 years. And there are skeptics who point to the level of corruption in the economy. These are true concerns about corruption, and we also have concerns about poor corporate governance and lack of leadership accountability. And the President has said it's no longer business as usual. We want to transform ourselves so that we deliver, we fight corruption, because once we do not get rid of the corrupt tendencies among us, we cannot realize our goal of having a middle-income economy by 2030. So these are some of the issues that we believe, as we deliberate today, we'll look into that, as well as a legislative environment like what the Director of Ceremony was saying, that will create this enabling environment for economic prosperity as we move forward, as we move towards 2030. And you noticed when the President gave the legislative agenda on Tuesday, he indicated that several pieces of legislation will be tabled in Parliament. A chief among them is the Companies and Corporate Entities Bill that seeks to transform the way our companies are enacted and governed. So these are some of the laws that will create an environment that will allow us to realize our goal of having an upper middle income economy by 2030. And as such, the government will also be capitalizing on the international goodwill that has been generated by the change of administration in November 2017 and the successful conducting of the 28 harmonized elections and we hope that this will bring in sustainable economic changes within the country. The government is committed to changing the lives of all Zimbabweans, and will work with all stakeholders for the realization of this goal. And this summit is one such step, because your contributions will help in refining the policy thrust that the government has adopted. And one of the key goals of the government is to effectuate devolution as sanctioned by the country's constitution. You realize if you go into section 264 subsection 2 of the constitution, it outlines the objectives of devolution of government powers and responsibilities to provide provinces and metropolitan councils and local authorities with powers to function. And among the powers that are given by the constitution are to give powers of local governance to the people by enhancing their participation in the exercise of the powers of the state and in making the decisions that affect them. Secondly, to promote democratic, effective, transparent, and accountable and coherent government, and to preserve and foster the peace, national unity, and indivisibility of the Republic, to recognize the right of communities to manage their own affairs and further their development, to ensure equitable sharing of local and national resources, to transfer responsibilities and resources from the national government, and to create sound financial basis for provincial and metropolitan councils and some local authorities. And to this end, I think this year when we craft the budget, we'll try to stick to the constitutional provision that dictates 5% of the national budget must go to our local authorities. And we believe that it goes for both technical and moral capacity in those that be tasked with leadership roles in the Second Republic. A prophet of old once said, and I quote, "Affliction will not rise up a second time." We do, unquote, end of quote. We do not have to regress as a nation. We have to move forward. And it behoves us all as entrepreneurs, private sector managers, public sector managers, captains of industry, leaders in civic society, and politicians to lead and govern ethically, knowing that we all play our part. Our beloved country will prosper for the betterment of all the citizens. The summit aims to provide a sound and sustainable framework for the economic revival of our country, which will create a renewed economic vitality, attract the much needed foreign direct investment, and subsequently create employment. It is the government's desire that this gathering will, among other things, help reignite and create confidence in the country as we move towards rebuilding the economy and restoring our status as the breadbasket of Africa. Lastly, I urge all citizens to participate in this building and rebranding exercise, because Zimbabwe is for all of us and for future generations to come. Let us all work towards this common vision. There is no other route to success. I want to thank you and believe that as we deliberate, we'll come up with policies that will help us as a government to build our economy and realize our goal of a middle income economy by 2030. I thank you.